Three, two, one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. As you can see on the monitor behind me, that is going to be the topic for discussion. Normally think you'd have to ask something like this. We're certainly going to be asking it because fact is, no matter what happens, this is the general sentiment when it comes to President Trump, is that essentially everything that Trump deals with, whether adversarial or whether in his favor, as you see on the monitor behind me, we're asking that question: does everything help Trump? In other words, no matter what happens to the man, it's going to be in his favor. I want to get your opinion on that because I'm certain you guys are aware of the laundry list of experiences, adversarial in nature, that Trump has been through. Yet folks continue to suggest no matter what he goes through, it works in his favor. We'll start out right away with the fact that he was impeached twice while president, ending with the one in regards to January 6th. But the other one was alleging that he colluded with the Russians to win the election in the first place. And of course, he survived both impeachments. After leaving the White House, he has since had Mar-a-Lago raided. He has since been charged down in Fulton County, Georgia. He has a mugshot. He has a host of criminal charges. In each one of these events, folks stated that this only helps Trump more. So we're going to be asking that question simple as you see on the monitor behind me. Does everything help President Trump? Now, keep in mind, last week, whereas he was found guilty of 34 felonies, had he been found innocent of all of those felonies, will we not be suggesting that that helped President Trump? But now that he's found guilty, folks are indeed once again saying that helps President Trump. Had we had a mistrial, folks would have been suggesting, well, that shows they didn't have a strong case to begin with. That helps President Trump. So what we're presenting to you is it seems as if no matter what the outcome is, folks are going to suggest that it helps President Trump. So what I want to ask is what you see exactly on the monitor behind me. Does everything help President Trump? No matter what takes place, it is going to help the president. I want to get you folks, get your answer on it. We certainly will tackle this on this odd Sunday evening, but I want to hear from you folks. Everything helps President Trump, meaning this does it guarantee come November he'll win by a landslide? I mean, after all, if nothing is hurting the guy, how could he lose? How could he lose an election where everything helps the guy? So we'll be talking about that right off the bat. I see in the comments, someone says he's done. Thurman, you say he's done. I don't know. How do you know? I don't know. I don't feel so confident. Is there any of you other folks out there believe that Trump is done? The polls still show Trump to be highly competitive, if not leading President Biden in a host of races. So I don't know if I'd say he's done. Looking in the comments, if he loses, the system is corrupt according to him. If he wins, everything's okay. Well, it does seem to be something like that. And I want to, as always, when we're in the makeshift studio, we generally play a few clips for you, and today is no different. I want to run a couple things by you before we begin taking calls. Real quick, you know how the program is ran. It is MAGA friendly, always has been, always will be MAGA friendly. Regardless of your opinion, you don't have to agree with anyone on the show. You don't have to agree with the host. It's all about free speech here, so we're never going to block, ban, or censor you for your opinion. So if this is the type of forum you enjoy, feel free to follow the program. To my TikTok users and those who are on YouTube, a subscription, if you will. Looking in the comments, I didn't vote for him twice. I'm most definitely voting for him in November. short of horns growing out of his head. Damn. So here's a viewer said I never voted for Trump before, but I'm certainly going to vote for him in November unless he grows horns out of his head. All right, fair enough. Let me go to the box. That's crazy. Let me go straight to Tommy Moore. I know a lot of people that are now voting for him because of this. That previously did not like him, says Brian. I want to talk about that. Let me switch over to my Wi-Fi because the box may be a bit problematic. While Wi-Fi switch on. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, you see on the monitor behind me, does everything help Trump?
Well, there's 50-50, I'm going to say. There's accountable of that. Let's say that he did pretty darn good. Don't get me wrong there. That's another accountable for that because he did stimulus checks. I remember that really well. He did the stimulus checks. Then he was trying to create a wall for the war, and now the wall been turned down since Joe Biden has started it for the warehouse. So there's accountable for that. So I'm pretty sure there could be a slight chance where they could look the background checks on Donald Trump's to see all the good. There could be a good credits from him on that side, or it could be some bad credits on the other side. So there's two types of sides you have to look at.
But when I say does everything help him, I mean like the criminal cases, the impeachments, the mugshot, having his home raided. Now that he's been found guilty, I mean, he lost to E. Jean Carroll, 80 some odd million. He lost to Letitia James, 335 million. Does everything help him? Because if he had a one and E. Jean Carroll received zero, if Letitia James received zero, we would also be saying that helped him, right? So is he in a position where everything happens, no matter what it is, helps him out?
I'm pretty sure it's going to help him out. I'm sure that they might have to back him up on that. Because, like I said, they might just go pull out some records and see, everything. I don't think it's done until it's said it's done.
Okay.
I don't think it's done yet.
All right, but I don't know if you quite answered the question, though. So do you agree that there's basically everything, good or bad, helps him out? Is he in a position where everything that happens, no matter what way it goes, is going to help him out?
I believe it's going to help him out, 100% about it.
How do you think that happens where an individual, no matter what they do, they go to court, whether they win or lose, things like that, everything helps them out? How do you think he got in a position like that?
To me, he's a multi-billionaire. I mean, think about what he did to Vince McMahon. I mean, that was one heck of a match. But anyways, if he's a multiple billionaire, I'm pretty sure he's pulling something out of his pocket.
Wait, what do you mean by something out of his pocket? What are you talking about?
Like money, otherwise he's probably paying people to bail him out, whatever, so he won't go to jail or so he won't go to prison. I mean, if you were a billionaire, I mean, what would you do in a situation? Would you pay that person and say, hey, can you please bail me out some bail?
You do realize, and I get your point, but you do realize that you're basically saying that Trump is engaging in corruption. He's buying his way to justice.
Right. And that's something I believe in. If anybody can believe in it, I'm sure I can believe it as well. So I believe in it.
So you do believe that Trump is purchasing the justice system? Wow.
Injustice.
So wouldn't that make him corrupt?
No, it wouldn't.
So if you go, hold on a second. So Tommy, if you commit a crime and you use your personal bank account to avoid justice, you don't see any corruption in that?
Not at all.
So you believe that criminals, if they are guilty of committing a crime, but they have enough money, they should be able to buy their way out of justice?
Absolutely, because if there is proof, then yes. I get what you're saying. If there was proof or evidence, they would have proof. I mean, where's the proof at?
He was found. We don't see it. He was found guilty by a jury of his peers. They're the ones that saw everything far more than you or I did. They were in the court These are 12 regular people. They looked at the case. They came back with him being guilty. Now, keep in mind, you and I both know if they had found him not guilty, we would value their opinion, would we not?
Right.
Right.
You're right about that. Right.
So is it a case where the only thing we would accept is a not guilty verdict?
That is true. But it could be, like I said, it could be 50-50. They're probably going to be looking at the cannibals of, like I said before, what he did was right. They're going to look all his credits, probably know what he did was right, and then you got to look at the halfway of it like this, of what he did was wrong. So either way you look at it, he's probably, like you said, he's probably trying to work his way up just to trying to bail him out for justice.
But what I'm concerned with is you coming out and flat out saying he's probably using his wealth to buy his way through the justice system. You don't have any problem with that.
Probably, right. That's a probably.
So when he says that we have a two-tier justice system, could it possibly be that the system favors those who have money? Because it sounds like if he can do that, which you or I probably couldn't do, he has a benefit that we don't get.
Right. I don't know because, like I said, there could be a jury that's up to the judge really. Rather they can find him guilty or not guilty. They have to look at the office because the office is so long, and they have to sit there at each table. Imagine if you sit at a long table, and with you in it. And they have to see your backgrounds, knowing your backgrounds, and they have to pull so many files to ask you all these questions, multiple questions. So imagine that would happen. And then you got this judge, how you want to say it? Journalists, people who would just sit there and just ask, is he guilty or not guilty?
Yeah.
So that's the thing you got to look at too, because...
And let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before I move it on. Do you think his charges or convictions, him having multiple felony counts, do you believe that should stop him from being able to run?
I mean, I cannot say, but it could be, like I said, 50-50.
No. I mean the fact. Now, I'm talking about the charges where he has not been convicted yet, but he does have a host of other cases pending. Do you think any of that should stop him from being able to run for president?
I don't think nothing can hold him back.
But I'm asking you, even if you don't believe it can hold him back, do you personally believe, considering that he has dozens of charges still pending, federal charges, do you believe personally yourself that should stop him from running? If you were in charge, would you rule that this should disqualify him from running?
I don't think you probably would, no.
What about the 34 felonies he's been convicted of? Would that stop you? Would that allow you? Would that cause you to rule against him?
If that would be the judge's case, yeah, it could.
So the case where he just lost last week, where he now is convicted of 34 felonies, that would cause you, if you had the power, to say he cannot run because he has 34 felonies now on his record?
Correctly, yes.
Okay. So you, in other words, so just to be clear before we move on, you don't think he should be able to run right now?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Wow. Who are you likely to vote for him in November?
I would have, yes, I would, because like I said before, he has done some goods, but if he done something that's really bad, again, we can give him a second try. If he does it wrong again, then no, we wouldn't vote for him anymore. But if he does something that's good that can help him change it around and get back where he was starting from, then yes.
You're confusing me. Okay, you said if you were in control, you would rule that he should be disqualified from running because he has 34 felonies on him now. But then when I asked you, will you be voting for him in November, you said you are, correct?
Correctly. But like I said, everybody deserves a second chance.
So you wouldn't rule against him then. You said if you were in charge, you would rule that someone with multiple felonies should not be able to run. Sounds like you would rule that everybody deserves a second chance.
Right.
Okay, you're losing me, but thank you for coming. I gotta move it on, Tommy. You kind of confusing me, but come on back anytime, man.
All right.
All right, all right. Listen, at the end of the day, I can only ask the questions. I don't quite know the opinion there because he was moving back and forth, but nevertheless, we had to ask the question. I seen the comments. John said he lost him as well. I confused a lot of us. I see that. 34 non-violent felonies where the verdict was unconventionally, I think you said. Oh, but the verdict was reached unconventionally. Well, there is no doubt that it was 34 non-violent felonies. That's 100% certain of that. But in regards to suggesting the verdict was reached unconventionally, that's an opinion. A lot of folks do agree with you, but others don't. That is an opinion in regards to how the verdict was reached and things like that. And keep in mind, verdicts get reached unconventionally all the time and people don't complain. I always bring up O.J. Simpson, his conviction and prison sentence in Nevada. That was unconventional. Not only was it unconventional, the judge that gave O.J. Simpson 9 years in Nevada, she ran a campaign on locking him up. So when folks bring up Letitia James and Alvin Bragg running a campaign and go, nobody cared. She ran a campaign on locking Trump up. She got in office. She did exactly that. And he got a sentence that everybody thought was excessive for that particular crime. Nobody cared. So the only thing I'm bringing up is, even if you believe what happened to Trump is wrong or excessive or whatever, that's the way our system works. The three strike laws. I mean, you realize how many people are serving the rest of their lives in prison because of an excessive sentence? I don't know why it became unique once it happened to Trump, but that happens all the time. Looking in the comments, what Bragg did was make non-disclosure agreements illegal now. Yeah, I get that. Stormy Daniels broke her non-disclosure agreement as well. That's a good point. I think, but I also think that that's very similar, even though it wasn't a non-disclosure agreement, to the Bill Cosby case, because Bill Cosby made a deal with the state where he could basically testify against himself in private, and they were not supposed to use it in court. And they violated that. And Bill Cosby ended up getting like he got a long sentence, but he only served 3 years before they were finally able to overturn it. I didn't see a lot of folks feeling sympathy for Bill Cosby either. I'm just simply saying the justice system railroads a lot of people. Trump is not unique. It does it to a lot of people. Continuing on with Bushmaster 11 Bravo. Good afternoon, Bushmaster. We're asking the question, simply put, is everything helping Trump? Is it possible that no matter what you do, no matter what the outcome of it is, it helps Trump? Bushmaster, good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, Mister?
I'm doing good. Good to have you back here. We haven't talked in a while. So do you see it that way, that just simply everything helps Trump?
Oh, this I believe certainly has. It did for me, and because I remember before the verdict or any of that, I was asked by a bunch of people on the left, what would it take for you to not vote for Trump? And I know what they was leaning towards. They was leaning towards me saying if he got a verdict,
right,
I'm guilty.
Right.
And well, I just told them what would make me not vote for Trump at that time, and well, it holds true today, is if they dropped all the charges, because then I would know he's not a part of this corrupt piece of shit system.
Wait a minute. So if they dropped all the charges against Trump, all 88 cases, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, the deal down with Fonnie Willis, if all of that went away, you would vote against Trump?
I wouldn't vote for him if they had dropped. Correct.
Wait a minute. So the only reason you're voting for Trump is because he's being charged with crimes you don't think he committed?
Correct.
So you don't think he was actually a good president?
No, he was a good president. I'm talking about the system. In other words, the system doesn't go after people that are a part of the system.
But you just said, hold on. Okay, let me ask you this flat out.
When the laws are there to protect them against you, but not you against them, that's a big problem for me.
Let me ask you, between Biden and Trump, just on this, let's get rid of the charges. Let's just say, comparing men, between Biden and Trump, who do you think is a better president?
Better president? Absolutely Trump.
So why would you not? So if there was no charges against Trump, why are you saying you would not vote for him? That doesn't make sense.
If there was no charge, I know. I said if they dropped the charges, because right now he's a citizen. He's like you and me, right?
Right.
Trump is. So in other words, the laws are there to protect them, but not us, the citizens.
So if you
see the difference?
So if they dropped all charges against Trump, you're going to vote for Biden?
Nah, I probably wouldn't have voted for Biden either.
Why would, if you think Trump did a good job as president, why wouldn't you vote for him regardless? I don't. What you're saying?
If they dropped the charges as a citizen, if they had dropped the charges, of them. Okay. But see, because he was president, if you remember, if you remember when he was president, they said, well, they couldn't charge him because he was president.
Okay.
So they waited until after he was a citizen, like you and me right now, to charge him and convict him.
Did you vote?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you said. So
when the laws are there to protect, when the laws are there to protect them against you, then and not you against them, then that's a tyrannical government, my man. I don't want no part of it.
So when Biden ran against Trump in November of 2020, who did you vote for? Because Trump hadn't been charged with anything in November 2020. Who did you vote for then?
I didn't vote in 2016 I didn't vote in 2016 or 2020, but I will be voting this time, and it will be for Trump.
Okay. And it's only because he's been charged.
It's easy to see tyranny when you pay attention. As a citizen, he got charged and convicted. Now, when he was president, they wouldn't even charge him.
Yeah. I'm really confused here. So, why didn't you vote in 2020?
So, why didn't I vote? Because I wasn't even really into politics. And then this whole COVID thing come out, and people tell me I need to wear this, and I need to do this, and I need to get in line and follow these steps. And I was just like, what the? Okay.
So so let me ask you this.
No, no, I'm not sick. I'm okay. Don't be telling me how to live. Now,
No.
if I'm infected with something that's bad for other people, then I'm going to be away from them. Don't sit there and act like you're my doctor and act like I'm sick and tell me I'm contagious or anything like that. I'm not contagious because I'm not.
So how do you feel about Trump telling folks?
Breaking up.
Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what's going on. All right, we're moving on. Apparently, we got a bad.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, now you just dropped. All right, Bushmaster is really confused today. Listen, I'm not here to say if anybody's confused. Listen, there's a lot of reasons to vote for Trump. In my opinion, there are legitimate reasons to vote for Biden, depending on what your politics are. But when you say that the only reason you're voting for Trump is because of the convictions, it does draw some additional questions. So I was trying to get him to elaborate on that. Unfortunately, we had a bad signal. Bushmaster 11B is a friend of the program. He's been on here before. He's always welcome back. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary, MAGA friendly till the day the program ends. We've been that way from day one, and we always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. We do believe in allowing the people to speak, so you don't have to agree or disagree with anybody. I left the Democrat cult a few years ago, says Blue Diamond Jim. All right. If you had to pass an intelligence test, Trumplicans could not vote. Wow, says Carla. Okay. That dude was inbred. Come on, be kind to the guest there, Richard. See, my last guest was there. What reason is there to vote for Biden? Pro-choice? You believe in tuition loan forgiveness? You believe in a minimum wage increase? A whole bunch of reasons to vote for Biden. And there are reasons to vote for Trump. Depends on what side of the aisle you're on. But there is a lot of reasons to vote for both sides. It just depends on what your politics are. I get it. If you support Trump, you think anybody voting for Biden is dumb as hell. And the same for folks who support Biden. You think that anybody that vote for Trump is ridiculous. But there are legitimate reasons to vote for both. Looking in the comments, hello from, I'm assuming that says Germany, Frankie the Voice. Good afternoon, good evening to your whatever time it is. They're probably in the wee hours of the morning, but good morning to you. Think about who will help you and your family's future. Trump is the answer. Depends on what aspects of the future you're talking about. Let's say, for instance, you do have a daughter, an aunt, maybe your wife is pregnant and she's facing some type of major illness that she needs to terminate the child. Does it make sense to support Trump in that case? So when you say your family's future, it doesn't have to be financial. I mean, yeah, financial, economic. What if you're buried in student loans that you basically will never mathematically be able to pay off? Is your future better off with Trump or Biden? I mean, it depends. I get your point, but it could change depending on your own personal situation. Let's keep it going with Takesha. Bowie. Good afternoon, or I'm used to saying good afternoon because that's when we normally do the show, but good evening, Takesha.
I'm gonna be good today because every time I come in your box, your people report me and I end up getting banned for 7 days.
Who would report the Honorable Takesha?
Yeah, they reported me. Last time I was in your box, I got a 7-day ban.
Are you telling me that because the liberals are all about cancel culture, are you telling me some right-wingers are reporting you?
They reported me and I got a 7-day ban.
Well, let's try to avoid that today. So
I'm going to talk really, really nice. So how are you today, handsome?
I'm just hanging like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting, doing pretty good.
No way. That was a good one.
Thank you very much. But I'm bummed. So, what do you think? Is everything helping Trump?
I don't think anything's helping Trump. I think the only thing that's helping Trump is that he still has a stronghold on the people that support him. I wanted to ask a question. Do you think people really know what weaponizing the Justice Department is? Because, you know, they say that a lot about Biden. But who charged Hunter?
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean when you say who charged Hunter?
Who brought charges against Hunter? Was it not the Justice Department?
Yeah. You're not talking about something happening with Mary. Go ahead.
And who's going to court tomorrow? Hunter Biden, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me interrupt you by saying this.
Did Biden come out and pardon his son?
No, but he damn sure is gonna. I don't know what sense it makes to do that.
You don't know that.
Come on now.
You don't know that.
Come on. Would you let your son go down for that?
You cannot say what someone's going to do until they do it, sweetie.
I hear you, Takesha, and technically I got to agree with you, but let me just make it clear to you. But how old is Biden? 82 or what? If I'm 82 years of age, my entire career is done, I have nothing left to prove, and they about to lock my son up simply because they don't like me? Yeah. I would. I'm telling you what I would do. Yeah, and I think most Americans would.
Until he does it, we cannot say what he's gonna do. Now, if he does it, I'll come back and say you were right. But until he does it, I'm not going to say he's going to do it. The thing is, he's letting the process go through. He could have stopped it before it even happened.
Yeah, that's true.
If he's weaponizing the Justice Department for Trump, why not for to help your son?
Yeah. Well, because it would hurt the election. If Biden lets the justice system go through and they find Hunter Biden guilty, look, he's going to sit where he needs to sit until after November. If Biden loses, he's still in power until January. He can pardon his son. If Biden wins, there is no second election or next election to worry about. Hunter Biden will get pardoned if he's found not guilty. It's just you can't interfere with it now because there's an election in November.
Well, what, Handsome?
Sure.
They lying on about weaponizing it for Trump. So what is hurt? They say it's hurting them now. So what's the difference, sweetie?
Well, we know that the folks that are claiming the weaponized system is kind of finagling the terms to mean what they want it to mean. I mean, I get your point.
They honestly don't know what it means. They just, repeating stuff they hear. But let me ask this too. Okay, there was a guy named Mike yesterday. He was in a live I was in. And he said, yeah, that just made me take my donation from $35 to $200 a month. Is that a flex? That you taking the money you working for to give it to a billionaire that you... Listen, let me tell you something. Y'all make y'all children go out, cut the grass, take the trash out just to earn allowance. But you gonna get this man that's never even come in your door and ain't even swept your rug. You just giving him free money, but you're making the children that you're supposed to be taking care of work for their allowance. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
I don't have no answer to that. All right, I don't have no answer for that either. All right, Takesha.
Now, one more thing I want to say.
Sure.
Before they get mad at me. The gentleman that just left, he said that, Trump did a lot of stuff, but he did something good too. That's just like me saying, hey, check this out. My ex-husband beat my brains out, shot me 4 times. I survived. He stabbed me, but guess what he did? He paid those bills.
Ooh.
So, hey, he did something good. Am I going to try to push him up on am I going to tell another woman to come on and get him because he paid the bills after he done beat me in the head and shot at me and stuff?
It left me baffled. I'll just leave it at that. Because
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
And what is going... My thing is this. Okay. The man was found guilty by 12 of his peers.
They believe it was a corrupt justice, a corrupt jury, all of that.
Listen, they never complained so much about the court system until the court system went after Trump. We have been getting mistreated for years in the court system. There has been no complaining going on. We have been told to comply, obey, and take it with a grain of salt. But time has started working against Donald Trump. Now, all of a sudden, the justice system is corrupt. Now, it's just too much, Handsome. It's the hypocrisy for me. Let me put it like that. It's the hypocrisy for me.
So in regards to you talking about the hypocrisy, Scott Rummel, I think it says Rummel, Scott Rummel's on YouTube says Donald J. Trump is a great con man. He's got all of these non-educated convinced. Do you see any validity in a statement like that?
I do. I don't think all of them are non-educated. I just think that, let me tell you what I think, Handsome. Some of them are non-educated. Some of the congressmen that are sticking by are trying to vie for a job. Tim Scott is the biggest embarrassment to the black community right now.
I love you, man.
He was an embarrassment when he got up there with that fake fiance that we'll never see again. But he's the most ridiculous one. He's talking about how this man has been robbed and mistreated. You have never said one time that black people have been mistreated in this country. You keep on talking about how this is not a racist country, and you keep taking up for Trump. But what about Europe? Stop lying. You don't have to be somebody else to be somebody.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, every president that runs for office, there's going to be people that are looking to kiss your ass for a cabinet position. I do see that in Tim Scott.
He putting braces on and kissing it real hard because he need a gate around his teeth.
Okay, you trying to get bad?
I'm doing better, Hanson.
All right, Takesha.
In all honesty, I think it's really sad that they complain about every judge but Eileen Cannon. She's
down in Miami.
She's very Trumpish. But they never complain about Eileen Cannon. The only problem these people have is people that try to hold Trump accountable for things that he's done. This man's daughter has not even made one statement about her dad. His wife has not shown up in court one day to sit by her husband and support him, or sit behind him and support him. What is going on with that?
I can't argue with you. That is odd that he was in court for all of those days, and you got the Speaker of the House and Tim Scott and all them showing up, Vivek wearing outfits like him, and Melania Trump did not show up at all. That is, I mean, listen, I know she's a mom. I know she's
Where is Ivanka, the favorite child? We have not seen Ivanka since she came out and said that she believed the election was not stolen. Where is she?
Yeah, I can't argue with that. In the comments, real quick, in defense of Melania Trump, Mark says she's watching over Barron. You got the Speaker of the House showing up that's watching over the whole country.
Barron is 134 years old. He don't need watching over. That boy has graduated high school. He's home alone like Macaulay Culkin, and he's old enough to be alone. That boy was in school while Trump was in court. Cut it out.
All right, Takesha. Well said. Appreciate you coming on. I do got to move it on, Takesha. Anytime. And that is a common defense for Melania not showing up. She's a mother and she has a child to watch. And as my last guest said, it's not like this is a kid. It's not like they don't have nannies. You're going to tell me there's no way in hell she could have came to court and sat in not a single day because her motherly duties of a teenager is that great? And the Speaker of the House, Senator Tim Scott, they all were able to find time to show up in a city that they have no jurisdiction over. I don't think that's a good defense. I'm just going to say that. I understand Melania Trump is a mom, but if the Speaker of the House can show up, the idea that Melania Trump was too busy to show up, not even one day she could come by, that doesn't make a lot of sense in my case. Would have been double the security, no reason to. No, it wouldn't. Outlaw Josie Wells, if Melania shows up, you don't need to double the security if she comes with her husband, because Trump was doing rallies by night. He had a few days off. He went to his son's graduation. She could have came the next day. There's plenty of times when Trump left and then he came back. That's when she could have came and she could have used his security. You don't need to double the security. I think we're kind of making a few excuses here. Listen, if you want to say the trial was bullshit and things like that, we can discuss that. But the excuse that his wife cannot show up, but the Speaker of the House and senators and all them folks can, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm really scared because I'm now friends with one of Donald Trump's sons because he came on to me. Anthony, I don't know what that means, but okay, actions speak louder than words. And a lot of folks who support Trump says that all the time. And yeah, Melania Trump not showing up. It does. And like my last caller mentioned, neither did his daughter. None of his family showed up to that does say something. Real quick, black voters have been the weakest voice in international affairs. Damn, I hate we lost our rebels. Don't quite get what you mean by that. Prison TikTok. Looking at the comments, before we move on, any good dad would protect his son. Biden is a good dad. Well, I'll say what I mentioned before we go to the box real quick. And by the way, I haven't been soliciting you folks to tap the screen. Nearly 700 of you in here, so certainly tap the screen, get the likes on up to 30,000. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button, the three dots in the top of your screen. Get the likes on up to about 20. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone, so it doesn't matter what your politics are. If you love Trump, feel free to state it here without any concern of being blocked, banned, or censored. You don't have to agree with anyone in the comment section. You don't have to agree with the host. Everyone gets to speak here. That's how the program's been ran from day one. It always will be ran that way. It is MAGA friendly. That's how we do it. Imagine people actually thinking that was the real Trump in court and not his double. All of the shit Trump says when he come out of court and he doesn't tell you he has a double. You really believe? Oh my God, let me go back to the box. Trump, that was a stunt double that was in court. Okay, and the judge was allowing that, huh? The judge allowed the stunt double to show up. Wow, that's some interesting information. Guys come with some weird stuff. Let me continue on. I've never heard that before. Raina Kennedy Good afternoon. Stunt double. That one really took me back. We'll get a box a minute to be said. Tim, that wasn't Trump in court. You know what I always say, Shondell, in regards to whether Trump won the 2020 election, whether Obama was born in Kenya, Michelle Obama was born in man. Show evidence. That's all I say. Hillary Clinton drinking the blood of infants. Every time I hear this stuff, two words: show evidence. If that was not Trump in court, show evidence. You get a lot of these claims and these wild things, and they have no evidence. I think Trump stated when he was in office that Obama was bugging his office. Show evidence. I mean, have we gotten to the point now where we just accept anything without asking for any type of proof or evidence at all? Show evidence. If he didn't show up to court, not only show evidence, but then show evidence why Vivek, Tim Scott, and all these folks showed up to defend a stunt double. Show evidence. Hillary started Obama's birther story. Hillary, yeah, she did. Yes, she did, but that doesn't excuse Trump from doing it. What am I going to go out and rob a bank and say, well, Al Capone started doing this first? What does that got to do with Trump? I mean, Hillary Clinton didn't force Trump to do what she was doing. He did it on his own. Bringing up Hillary Clinton is kind of irrelevant in that. Just watch Ellen's show, It Swings in the Wind. Show evidence. You got to show more evidence than that. Going back to the box, we'll go to S. Friday. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. You never mentioned that. How come, comrade? What do I never mention? That's MAGA. No evidence. They lie so much. They don't believe in anything. Now, I believe MAGA believes in a lot of things. I believe they're passionate in their beliefs. But I do believe that there's a lot of things that I hear from my beloved MAGA on the program that they don't provide evidence for. And when you challenge them to provide evidence, it really doesn't. There's really no way to do it. I mean, I hear it and I'm willing to entertain it, but yeah, evidence is something that is often lacking. While we're trying to bring up the box once again, another guest is kind of freezing there. Give me a handle, Tim. I'll send you material you have never seen. On TikTok, the address is on the page there. That would be the email to send it up. Look up Frizzled Rip. I had no evidence on Trump, all but Trump and shut up. I don't quite get that, Clinton Walston, but appreciate the input there. Can you answer this question? Why with the last president, the voting was rigged and not others? Well, changing the way we vote, whether it's Pennsylvania claiming that they did it because of COVID or folks letting mail-in ballots take place, it's a difference between changing the way we vote and saying the voting was rigged. There is evidence that some of the ways we used to vote were changed in 2020. Changing doesn't equate to rigged. If we start saying, well, now 20-30% of folks can mail in their votes, or we add polling offices, or we limit polling hours, or we shut the windows, or say you got to stand 25 feet back from anybody at a polling place to observe them. Those are changes. Maybe they sound suspicious, but that doesn't confirm it's rigged. That just means those are changes you don't like. That's the issue of the 2020 election, is that folks believe that everything they saw they didn't like automatically equates to Democrats cheating. You can't just make that leap without some evidence. Let's say we're Ruby Freeman, passing around USB drives, as Rudolph Giuliani stated, so folks thought they were cheating in Georgia. Do you know what's on the drive? Or are you assuming what they're doing is helping the Democratic Party? How do you know that that is not a mirror image of Diamond and Silk working for Republicans? You don't know. You're just assuming that what you see don't look right, so it has to be for Democrats. You don't have any evidence of that. They could be cheating for Republicans. Just like folks will suggest, if you look at January 6th and you see all of them folks with MAGA hats on, it's wrong to assume they're MAGA when they're Antifa. You can see it that way. Why can't you see it the other? Maybe Ruby Freeman and her mom were actually Republican operatives. Is that possible? If somebody can show up on January 6th, wear a MAGA hat when they're actually Antifa, why can't Ruby Freeman and her mom be Republicans? Or does it not work both ways? Look it in the comments. How do we know you aren't collecting a check from Democrats? Fucking car you see me sitting in, damn it, the clothes I'm wearing. I would be looking better, put it that way. Let me go back to but funny question, I appreciate that. Trust me, if I was getting paid, this would be a lot better than this. Hell, even the mic is turned off right now. This program would be put together a lot better. You would see galaxies popping up on TikTok. You would see super chats coming in on YouTube. Do you see any donations coming to this shit of any significance? I've debated whether I even want to continue doing this because the donations are so damn low. So trust me, if I'm getting paid by Democrats, you would know. Going back to the box, but that is a funny, hilarious question. Clinton Walston, don't believe that about you at all. No, it's not true. But I don't mind him asking the question. I don't mind him asking it. Clinton, good afternoon.
What's going on, bro?
Not much at all. So you see what's on the monitor behind me. I'm asking, does everything help President Trump?
Democrats don't.
No, but I'm talking about, well, the Democrats' job is not to help him out. That's like saying the Republicans don't help out Biden. That's not their job. But what I'm asking is this. We know in the court cases, if he's found guilty, well, he's being railroaded, that helps him out. If he's found innocent, that shows he's being railroaded, that helps him out. If it's a mistrial, that shows they didn't have their case in order, that helps him out. Does everything help him out?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that helps him out because a lot of people know this election interference bullshit on all the Democrats and New Yorkers and Georgia and Fannie Willis and all this other bullshit, Eugene Carroll and all that other stuff. I mean, it was funny, and I don't give a damn if you're Republican, Democrat, what. They can't say that it don't look funny after 2 to 3 weeks of announcing he was going to elect or was going to run for president. All this shit started coming up. All of a sudden, the law started changing. Okay, 7, 8 years ago, this happened. We're going to try him for it. Bullshit. If that would have been Biden, and I mean, yeah, well, we've got Biden looking suspicious on shit, getting by with paperwork he shouldn't have. Trump had it. He was okay to have it. Yeah, he turned it in, but they still wanted to try his ass when Biden shouldn't even have it as a damn senator.
Well, when you say he turned it in, they're charging him with obstruction of justice, and even his own lawyer admitted he was not trying to turn it in. They had to force him to do that. That's what the warrant on his house was for, because he was not turning it in. Do you think he should get in any trouble at all for refusing to get the documents back?
No, I mean, he gave them back, did he not?
No, he didn't. They went in his house and took them back. If he had gave them back, they wouldn't have been there when the cops got there.
But they got them back. But do you not think Biden should be in jail for having them as a senator and that's against the law?
Yeah, we can talk about Biden, but the point I'm trying to make it to you is this. If you're charged with a crime, and it could be anything from speeding to murder. There is another American out there that did the same thing that got away with it. You can't go to court on a murder trial pointing to somebody else who got away with it. We're talking about Trump. Bringing up Biden or snitching on Pence as a defense doesn't help you in court. So what I'm asking is the fact that Trump refused to get the documents back, should he get away with that?
I'm just saying, yeah, if they got I understand your part of it. Yes, they had to go in and get them. I totally get that. But that was DOJ's bullshit, the Democrats, to go in there and force that shit to make it look bad. But tit for tat. I mean, if a man goes and robs a bank, and he's 80, 90 years old, and a guy robs a bank that's 25, does that still make it right on age? No. Biden's ass should be in jail. His son should be in damn jail for shit. Hillary Clinton should be in jail for tearing up damn computer shit and emails and stuff and doctoring all that shit up.
Well, you know,
there's not, the Democrats get in trouble for fucking nothing.
Well, wait a minute. Well, but let me ask you, in regards to Hillary Clinton should be in jail, I gotta ask you the obvious question. Trump was in office for 4 years. Why the hell didn't he do his job?
Was he trying to straighten out the bullshit from the last time? I think he gave them the benefit of the doubt of the benefit to try to straighten the fuck up, and they did. And then they think, hey, wait a minute. You know, hey, if he gets in this time, he ain't got nothing to lose. We got to keep his ass out. And that's what all this is about. See, I've got a great idea for the election. They want to bring all these people in from foreign countries to be able to vote. They found flyers, hey, don't forget Trump, Biden needs 4 more years when you go vote. They want to do that shit. Well, I challenge every Republican and every American patriot to go to these damn countries that don't
do voter ID, go up there and vote. Go vote 15, 20 fucking times in different spots. If they're going to do it, we can do it.
So you challenging the Patriots to go down to Venezuela and vote? They don't have a government in Venezuela.
No. I'm talking about places like California that don't want voter ID, New York, Chicago, all these fucking places, they don't want voter ID, and they let anybody come in an American election that's not American and vote. Well, you know what? If they can vote, we can vote. We could get the damn truck, go up there and bus loads and vote. What's going to stop us? We're actually Americans.
You do understand if you do that, you might end up making a remix with the January 6th choir, though, right?
Well, how is it okay for people who come in here illegally to vote and people who cross the border to vote, and it's not even their fucking country, when we're sitting here and it's our country, and it's our election, and our future, our country, not them.
I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying quite often, Clinton. I don't see the evidence that Trump says 10 million illegals came in this country. You're telling me thousands, millions of them are actually voting? Where's the evidence to that? Andy, thank you for that underwater, that graphic there. Thank you, Andy. I mean, I don't see the evidence to this stuff.
Well, they showed flyers down in Venezuela and other countries where they were busting these migrants up to cross the border. Okay, the flyers, they showed the flyers. Should have screenshot. I'll go back. I'll send it to your TikTok or your email or whatever. And it said specifically, don't forget to vote while you're in America. It said Biden needs 4 more years. Biden needs 4 more years.
How do you know? Out of all the conspiracies, things folks saying that people were after Trump and how do you know that wasn't something that was planted down there by somebody that wants to demonize the Democratic Party? Are you just assuming that's valid?
Well, I mean, why else would they bring them in? You tell me. This country's got more on its plate. You know, a damn 1 gallon jug only holds 1 gallon. This country only holds so much bullshit, and they keep adding on stuff. We don't need it. We don't need it, brother. I mean, I've got Hispanic friends. God knows I got black friends. I got all friends and everything. And I have no problem with anybody coming to this country. You know, the people who went up to New York years and years and years ago, we're talking about the Irish and all these people who migrated into New York, seen the Statue of Liberty, swore in, come and done our process and come in. I have no problem with them. They ought to sue the federal government's act for discrimination is what they ought to do, is go in there and sue the fuck out of them for discrimination just because they let these other people in and they didn't learn nothing, didn't swear in, didn't do nothing. I mean, nothing, fucking nothing. They just came in for votes. Hey, you watch what I say. As soon as all this shit's over, Biden won't need them no more. They'll be on the streets, they'll be looting, rioting, and all this other shit because they ain't getting these 5-star hotels and these free fucking prepaid cars.
So you believe immigrants are coming to this country to get prepaid cars in 5-star hotels?
To vote, just to vote.
Why would you?
I mean, look at the facts. Biden's been in there 3.5 years. He ain't done this shit since. He's not done any of this. Nobody's done any of this. Now it's coming up 5, 6, 7 months to election. Bam, bam, bam. He goes bringing them in.
So you believe these folks are taking this long ass trek to America just to vote?
To vote, to be able to bring them in for jump ahead of the people who's actually trying to come in. I've got friends that come in normally. As a matter of fact, I got 2 that lives 300 yards from me. Some of the best people you ever met in your life. I've loaned them a damn key to my house because they're that good of people. But they come in legally. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with these people coming in just like that guy. It was on TikTok and these other things, news stations that says, "Oh, you'll find out who we are soon enough."
Wow.
I mean,
so let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe the fact that Trump has now several felonies on his record? Do you believe having felonies should prevent him from running for office?
No, I mean, if you're gonna trump shit up, I don't.
Well, how do you know it's trumped up though?
Well, it's all Democrat. It's all brought up right after 2 weeks after he announced he's going to go for presidency. And the thing about it is, they were finding dandy while he was president. They were finding dandy the time he did announce that. So, I mean, you know, and then you have all these people that's going against him, that's Democrats. I mean, if there was a Republican going against him, you couldn't have that argument. But no, it's all Democrats. And then you got the third little skinny weenie that's standing there beside the black guy that tried him up in New York, and he's the third wheel cabinet in Joe Biden's cabinet in the DOJ. And why would anybody step down from a DOJ job to go to a prosecutor job in New York? That makes no sense unless it's unless it's rigged. Come on, man.
I don't. Here's what I don't get on that though, and you point out the indiscrepancies on the judges and the system going after Trump. I don't hear anybody talking about Clarence Thomas's wife or not his other judge flying the flag upside down. It's amazing in how this stuff doesn't seem to matter when it works in his favor, and all of a sudden when it goes against him, it's corrupt as hell. Because those two Supreme Court justices, if they were liberals doing that, you guys would have a huge problem against them.
Okay, let me ask you this. If let's just say, I'm pretty sure the election is going to be screwed up this year because they're going to try their damnedest to keep retarded Joe Biden in. All right, let's just say this. Let's just say they somehow Trump gets in because there's way too many polls, there's way too many people tired of this shit that's going to vote, that's never voted. The young voters, the African-American voters, the Hispanic voters, all these people. Let's just say a lot of us voting for Trump because that's what polls show. And polls are not always right. We know this.
Yeah, the red wave proved that, but keep going.
Let's just say this. They done showed voter fraud in Georgia. Yes, you're right. We don't know if it was Republican votes or Democrat votes. Well, don't they bring that shit out and look at it?
Why didn't it happen during see, a lot of the things you're talking about, Trump could have done this stuff. If Hillary Clinton deserved to be locked up, Trump dropped the ball on a bunch of stuff. And we're not holding him accountable for it. When Trump said he won by a landslide, he still had 2 months left in office. He didn't prove shit. He could, for the most part, Trump's last 2 months in office featured him not being president anymore and trying to convince us that he had won the election. Yet he didn't prove anything. Why didn't they show us some of this stuff?
Hey, that's for him to know, not for me to know.
Yeah, but you're defending it. But you are defending it.
Okay, all right. You say this, and I'm going to say this. Let's start back with my first argument. Let's say Trump gets back in office, and somehow, some way, they don't rig the election or fuck it up enough for the Americans not to have a truthful election. Let's just say that for shits and giggles. Now, let's say he goes after Nancy Pelosi, goes after Joe Biden, goes after his son, goes after a bunch of Democrats. You don't think there ain't going to be people raising hell? If that judge is sitting there and he's a Republican, or, you got a Republican jury, and let's just say for shits and giggles, let's say in Texas, they went to trial, or some Republican state, red state. They put them on trial in that state. It's a Republican judge. It's a Republican jury. You don't think people ain't going to be like looting, rioting, raising hell?
If there is one thing Trump has shown us through his 4 years in office and his time outside of, he don't give a damn if people raise his hell. If he wants to do it, he gonna do it. He don't care. The idea that Trump won't do something or didn't do something because the people might be raising hell, he wouldn't have been going around letting folks yell, lock her up, if he gave a damn how the people felt. Because he was clearly flirting with, vote for me and I'll go after my opposition and put them in jail. Now that it's being done to him, he suddenly is saying it's wrong. But he ran a campaign on locking Hillary Clinton up. He didn't care about people not giving a damn. I don't think he's concerned with that.
Well, I still say that he was more interested in running the country, trying to get the shit straightened out, and trying to get the corruption stopped, and then go after him. Like I said, 4 years, he run out of time. But
I want to play something for you. Clinton, I want you to hear this, and you can take it any way you want. As always, we don't block, ban, or censor, but I want you to give me your opinion on this.
She shouldn't be allowed to run.
Talking about Hillary Clinton.
Okay, sure.
I'll take it back a little bit. Listen to this. This is Trump coming on stage discussing Hillary Clinton.
Folks, she shouldn't be allowed to run. Okay, sure. If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial. It would grind government to a halt. Of course, that's what we have right now.
What is he talking about? Now he's claiming that if you got felony indictments and it'll grind the government too hard. What is he talking about?
Well, I guess all this false dossier and computer, the email tied up and all that shit she frauded and lied. She said, just like she said he was an illegitimate president.
So
and, I mean, the thing about it is what you played. Is it not funny that he said that, and that's exactly to a T what they done to him? They took a felony and a misdemeanor from 8 or 9 years ago and trucked that shit up and turned it around on him. Does that not seem funny?
Well, the fact is he ran a campaign on locking somebody up, and now he's getting locked up. It does seem kind of ironic, but I have to go back and ask the original question: why would you do it in the first place? Why Hillary Clinton did not have any day in court? Damn! Now I hate this happened. My last guest got removed. I don't know why. Clinton always welcome back on the program anytime, and I don't know why they took him down, but you're always welcome back. We'll move the program. I hate when folks bitch about guests and things like that because we don't believe in banning or blocking anybody. But my last guest taken down. Anytime Clinton, by the way, appeal that. You should be able to get right back. I don't think you did anything that was worthy of that. So go ahead and appeal that, and you can always come back. Looking in the comments, by the way, folks, tap the screen. Almost 900 of you here on TikTok. Get the likes on up to about 50,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy this afternoon. Please do that. And the same on TikTok. Feel free to smash that like button. Get it on up to about 30. I think the three dots in the top right of your screen will allow you to smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. Brings in more MAGA. Program is, always will be MAGA friendly. It's been that way since day one. Always has been, always will be. Liberals are welcome as well, though. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. Everyone gets to speak. You don't have to agree with the host. Nobody gives a damn. You have to agree with nobody in the comment section. Nobody gives a damn. Believe in free speech. Looking in the comments, nevertheless, you're right. Trump shouldn't be able to run. He shouldn't need to. It's going to be a landslide. Here's the issue I have with this, and it could be, maybe it could be a landslide in November, but I think the trajectory that Trump is on should be an eye-opener. What do I mean by the trajectory? You know, you can determine the path something is taken by the way it has went. Trump got elected in 2016, and since getting elected, because remember he said you're going to get tired of winning. Since he got elected in 2016, most of his trajectory has been losing. 2018 midterms didn't go Trump's way. Obviously, the 2020 election didn't go his way. The 2022 midterms did not go his way. None of the court cases have went his way. We're talking about the 60 cases trying to say the election was stolen. We're talking about E. Jean Carroll. We're talking about Alvin Bragg. We're talking about Letitia James. The only thing right now that Trump has to brag about is he's been able to delay a few cases. The trajectory he's on has not been victorious. It has not. I mean, how many folks that associate with Trump no longer have their law licenses? Some of them no longer have their freedom. Ashley Babbitt no longer has her life. Look, he may win. He may win in November. I'm not going to say he won't. A lot of 74 million people, he may win. But I'm just simply saying the trajectory. If we were talking about a foreign leader, you know, the prime minister of some country didn't know him, we just gave you what's been going on, you would say, I don't know, the trajectory is not good. It's just not good. He hasn't been winning like that. So we'll see what happens in November. But I will say this, in regards to my last caller, Clinton Walton, talking about if the liberals cheat or whatever. Before I go back to the box, let me just say this. If the Democrats stole the election in 2020, remember, Biden was a citizen at that point. Trump was actually in the White House. Trump actually controlled the Senate. Remember Mitch McConnell? The Democrats did have Congress with Nancy Pelosi, but for the most part, the country was Republican controlled. If Biden and the Democrats could steal the election when the Republicans were in control and had the Senate, why the hell would you think he's going to win in November when Biden is now in control of most of the mechanisms of this country? If you really believe that Biden stole the election in 2020, It should be a certainty that Trump's not going to win in 2024. He's just a citizen now. I think some folks need to pay attention to what do you, I mean, remember, but Trump allegedly won by a landslide, meaning a whole lot more people voted for Trump than Biden in 2020. That somehow Biden stole the election from him. So what is the plan this time? Well, a whole lot of people are going to vote for Trump in 2024 and he's going to win. Even though the cheater is in control of everything. Is there any logic behind that? Like I said, look at this stuff from the outside in. I understand there's a love for Trump, there's a hate for Trump, but I do believe the way people feel or dislike or like Trump is judging how is distracting actual logical judgment. I mean, if Biden stole it all and now he's in control of every damn thing, that's like saying we're just going to vote Putin out of office. We're just going to vote Kim Jong-un out of office. That doesn't make any sense. Let me go back to the box. I don't quite understand why people think that. We'll go straight to the one and only Andy. And Andy, thank you for that support. By the way, subscribers always get first digs in the box. That's how we always do it. Same on YouTube with the super chat. Andy, good afternoon.
Hello. Do you need an excuse to put me in the box?
No, I don't. I always enjoy talking to you, but that's going to certainly make me notice you. So what do you think? Is Trump in a position where everything helps him out?
I don't think so. And I'm not sure all these, I mean, like, we see the most diehard MAGA, but, and like the gentleman before who I know is from Alabama, you know, TikTok is especially sensitive about the word stolen in conjunction with the word
election.
That I don't want to bring up the little, you know.
I just did pretty deeply. We'll see what happens. So, but go ahead.
I don't want to mention it because I don't want the same fate. But Dinesh D'Souza's movie 2000 Mules was pulled by its publisher and media distributor.
Why?
Because Mark Andrews, a Georgia man, was accused of ballot stuffing, and his case is winding its way through the court.
And he's in the movie.
And they apologized to him in their thing about taking it down. They say they're sorry, you know, but they're, you know, they don't want to face Dominion, you know, what Dominion got for Fox. Yeah. It's so they have completely pulled down 2000 Mules. I mean, Trump gave the man a pardon. He made a film. You know, I can't even believe they believe that, but okay.
Well, to me, 2000 Mules was a case of preaching to the choir. I do believe that anybody who walked out believing 2000 Mules walked in believing that Biden has stole the election. I don't think you needed Dinesh D'Souza. Everybody that believed that 2000 Mules gave solid proof of what happened, they believed it before seeing 2000 Mules. It just gave them more to...
2000 Mules gave them something to sink their teeth into.
Yeah.
It's what every time we talked to them, it was, have you seen 2000? I mean, like, everybody asked me like 1,000 times. I'm like, I'm not watching that because I know who Dinesh D'Souza is. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't give him credibility, but
I watched it for
very interesting.
Yeah, for the sake of the show, we done multiple shows, and I watched 2000 Mules 6 different times. And one of the things I did bring up, it was like saying that we got some type of expose on something bad Trump did, and it's going to be on MSNBC hosted by Al Sharpton, and expecting MAGA to believe it. I'm like, Dinesh D'Souza is about his bias for Trump. I mean, like you said, he pardoned him. I mean, the guy leans right. Everything about him, like, why would he be considered as an unbiased source? And I told, you know, when we had MAGA viewers call in, they all admitted, like, if this guy with all of this connection to Trump was had that kind of connection to a liberal and was trying to tell us something about Trump, we wouldn't believe it. I mean, he's not an unbiased source.
The example I ever gave you, when you asked me if I'd seen 2000 Mules, I asked you, would you believe me if Michael Moore made a documentary? You know, for Biden, saying the same thing after being pardoned.
Good point.
And you were like, no. And I was like, well, there we have it. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's interesting to watch. There are people who are pulling away from the MAGA party. There are people who pulled away on January 6th. I don't think he enjoys the support he thinks he does. You know, we're now seeing all of these rallies from above, like not just ground level. And they're not near as full as they were in 2016 or 2020. Regardless of how many people showed up.
But what about the notion that folks are gung ho on Trump because he simply was a much better commander in chief than Biden? How do you respond to that?
I say that I've listened to a majority of the people that you talk to, and a lot of them will admit that they were not involved in politics before 2020. They really don't know much about policy. They don't know much about legislation. They think the president holds a magic wand and can change everything. When we all know Congress is a bitch. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can want everything in the world, but Congress will screw you over no matter what party you belong to.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that at all. So at the end of the day, though, in regards to this question behind me, do you think this 34 continuous felonies, you hear him calling them out one by one like that the other day, do you think that hurt or helped him at all, or it made no difference?
I think it made no difference.
Wow. 34 felonies.
I think they were going to vote for him anyway. There are some people who aren't, just like some people who peeled away after each, there was some that peeled off after each and Carroll. There were some that peeled off after January 6th. I think Trump and his base have no idea how big they are.
And while I'm talking to you, because I got real quick while I'm talking to you, I got a big ass big screen behind all these devices. There was a mass shooting in Ohio. It says only one dead, but 24 people got shot in Ohio today. Damn. At the end of
look, in Birmingham 2 weeks ago, we had one guy with 150 projectiles, one unalive, 4 injured. I mean, it's becoming way too often.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of drones. This is one of my older drones, but I'm a real big fan of drones. And I just got notified because mine is registered. I got the letters on here. But anyway, they actually are talking about they may take those away from us because people are using them to do bad shit. Like we live in a crazy world. I don't get it. People just like to kill folks for some reason. My husband
has a drone that he may lose just because it's a DJI.
Those are the ones that really going after me.
It's not because they're doing bad stuff. It's because it's just like TikTok. It all goes to China. They want the market to be more competitive on the American market. So it's more about that particular drone model, not what they're doing with said drones.
Well, I'm sad to say I watch a lot of
update. They tell me what to tell Congress. Send Congress a letter saying you need to sign up on DJI's site. You'll get information from them, and it'll tell you what's going on and where the court cases are. And there's a company in America that's taking DJI drones and giving them new interfaces. So they're American drones on the inside.
Oh, okay.
No longer. So you might can have that done to your drone if you don't want to.
That would be cool. But I watch a lot of, the dark web. So I see a lot of tragic stuff. And the Ukraine, man, I've seen some really, really bad things happen to the human body by way of drones. I mean, you can do a lot of damage with a drone. I mean, it is incredible what the damage you can do. So I'm assuming, because Americans are pretty gung-ho when it comes to weaponry, I'm assuming there's a lot of Americans in this country that know how to convert a drone to do some bad things.
One that did that, and they arrested her post haste.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, the drone community doesn't seem to be that bad. It's just there's the ones in America are not competitive, and it's a problem.
Well, neither does the airline.
That is right.
Yeah, the airline community is not that bad either. But September 11th still happened. All you really need is one person. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, all you need is one. I mean, and
I love the fact that Democrats are like, they don't associate that when they talk about weapons. Well, if you use the plane, blah blah blah. If you use the plane, you get the TSA.
Yeah.
They actually use that in their argument. I'm like, are you joking me? We got a whole organization for that.
Yeah. Well, with the guns, it's a little bit different. They don't want anything tracked. I mean, they're okay with a pregnant woman, but not the guns. I got to move it on, though, Andy.
How crazy is that, though? That's insane. You can track a pregnant woman across 2 state lines, get all up in her business, but don't ask me crap. That's the most insane. And I tell them that their weapon is no different than the DRUGS they complain about. They're all inanimate objects when they're laying in your hand. It's what you do with them.
I've said the same thing. A bag of schmack will never jump off the table and inject itself, just like a gun. If a gun only.
Me, please. I'm having difficulty. I want to drop. I can't. Will you kick me out of here?
All right. I don't normally like to kick you out, but I'll do it because you requested. Thank you, Andy. All right, moving the program on. The real recognize real, like the average white girl. Is there a such thing? In the comments, T advice to the average white girl. What does that mean? Do you believe if Biden won, WGY would be the WGY? I'm trying to figure out what that abbreviation means. Do you believe WGY would be the lawfare against Trump? I don't quite understand what you're saying there. Tim Cohen is saying his life is in danger. Damn right it is. I believe that. Let me just make it clear. Anyone that brings a negative outcome to President Trump's life is in danger. There's a lot of folks that believe Trump has the key to a really, really great America. A lot of folks are willing to lay down their lives to Trump. I got folks that I get on TikTok all the time saying they're willing to take a bullet for the guy. What do you think the whole civil unrest thing is about? Really, when you suggest that, well, if Trump ends up behind bars, there could be civil unrest. The whole purpose of that is a really large prison break. You're not fighting on behalf of anything else. You're fighting on behalf of getting this guy out. It amounts to a really enormous prison break. So, yeah, there's a lot of folks. Anyhow, looking in the comments real quick, it's how they are treating him, says Q Masonry Inc. And I'll go right back to the box, but my issue in regards to how they're treating Trump, I always say, should words have consequences? Because everything was fine when Trump was treating people like shit, getting in arguments with the Pope, my war heroes don't get captured, making fun of people. Nobody gave a damn. All of a sudden, now that he's on the other side of it, it's suddenly wrong. So I don't know if that says everything. I think it's really just based on protection of Trump. I think everything that is happening to Trump that people feel is wrong for Trump to be going through, Trump could do that same shit to somebody else and people wouldn't care. I really believe that, because a lot of things Trump is complaining about, he actually did do to other folks. Before I go back to the box, I want to run a clip by you guys that kind of backs up what I'm talking about. I think it's a minute. We may cut it short, but just hear it out. This is the one and only President Trump.
In the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Horrible. Horrible. I want the Fifth Amendment. I want immunity. The reason they get immunity is because they did something wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They don't think in terms of immunity. Taking the Fifth Amendment, think of this, over and over. And if you're not guilty of a crime, what do you need immunity for, right? Taking the Fifth Amendment, the whole thing, it's a mess. Pled the Fifth. Never, that's the end of it. Ay, ay, ay. We pleaded the Fifth Amendment. Wait, what are we going to do with this guy? What happened? He pleaded the Fifth. Right.
I'll stop it there because I believe most folks do get the point, but you understand that, and I see the comments, Tony Fike says, see you later. He says, you do dirt, you dirt. Okay, fair enough. And that's what we're pointing out, is that a lot of things Trump was throwing at other folks is suddenly unfair when it's happening to him. Because Trump used the Fifth Amendment quite a bit in his own cases. Well, his cases were unfair. His cases were a witch hunt. So he gets somehow special, gets a special pass to use the Fifth Amendment. But anybody else using it, they work for the mob. You don't see any issue with this, huh? Let me go back to the box. Because, a lot of things he has said in the past are not aging very well. Den Cow, subscriber to the program, good afternoon, Den Cow. You are very good. Make them feel the heat. Hi, Carl. Thank you. I'm trying to, it's all about us all knowing what's going on. Den Cow, good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. So is everything helping out President Trump?
No. It's just the same people are just getting louder and louder. It's no more people that are wanting to join him because he's now a felon. That's not how people operate. It's just that the same people are now saying the same thing louder, and it makes it seem like he's got more support.
Thank you, Andy. So what you're saying is, what you basically said is the charges in the court cases are strengthening his supporters' bond to him, but it's not growing his number of supporters.
Exactly. He's losing people as these things happen, but the people that consider themselves MAGA, they don't care what he does. They're going to support him. So they go from saying, oh, it's not going to happen, they're never going to indict him, and they indict him, and they get madder. And then they say, he's never going to go to trial, and then he goes to trial, and they get madder. And then they say, he's never going to be found guilty, and he gets found guilty, and they get madder. And that's all they're doing is getting madder and madder, but they're not adding people to his vote totals.
I kind of agree with that to some degree, but let's tackle the word matter. How much matter can they get before we have a pressure cooker on our hands?
Well, obviously that's hard to say. Different people have different tolerance levels. I think a lot of people that call themselves MAGA are not really ready to lose their whole livelihood and their lives for them.
You don't need many. Cool. You don't need many.
Right. I'm just saying that, like, the vast majority of people are not going to go out and ruin their own lives and stuff for him. There are a few, and that's all it takes to hurt a lot of people. But you can't control that when you're talking about the justice system. The justice system is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to be moved by political affiliation.
Fact.
And even though we know it is, but it's still the principles of America that we're talking about. So we talk about a two-tier justice system, and then we see he's getting all the benefits in the world from the justice system that none of us would get. But then he turns around and says he's being abused.
Well, let me ask you that. Why do you believe personally so many Trump supporters, virtually all of them, believe that virtually every charge against Trump is made up? He's innocent, 100% innocent in all of this stuff, and they're only doing it to prevent him from running for office. Why do you believe MAGA has such a different view on that than the left and even the independent crowd?
I don't know. That's a tough question because, it's kind of hard to see in somebody's in their heart, like why they're doing what they're doing. But I really do believe a lot of people, they know that he's guilty of these things, but they are willing to forego it. They just don't care.
But why? Why? Okay, let's go with that. A lot of folks realize he's guilty or believe he may be possibly guilty, but they don't care. What is it about Trump that is so prominent that even if he's done something wrong, they're like, still, he is the man? I guess it linked to the question of, was America running that good, that efficiently during 16 to 20, that folks are like, I don't care what this guy does. A country was doing so damn well, we'll overlook it all.
Well, I think it's not really about how they were doing then. It's how they felt then. They felt like somebody was helping them. Somebody had their back. Somebody was giving them the America that they believed in.
That's a good thing. Because you got to understand the blue-haired folks, the LGBT being in schools, they believe the America they're dealing with now is the America that goes against the America that they were brought up, the traditional America, the founding fathers. They believe that Biden is essentially destroying America.
Right, but they just using that as a talking point. I don't know if people remember what things were like between 16 and 20. The daily tweets, the daily insults, the talking about caravans coming to get us, and then the BLM, it was riots and protests in the streets, and that butted right up to COVID. But America was not doing great during those 4 years. Broke people were still broke in 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, I wasn't riding around in a brand new Escalator. I often ask that question, like, were people really that financially well off under Trump? Because I get it. Maybe you paid a few bucks less for gas, but it ain't like folks was living in mansions. I don't know why folks paint it to be so much better financially.
It wasn't even a few bucks more in gas. If you look at the average cost of fuel in 2016, 17, and 18, he didn't get in until 17, but if you go from 17, 18, and 19, it was like the average price was like $2.56, $2.37. $2.48 in those years, and it's around $3.20 now. So it's like 60 or 70 cents higher right now than it was then. But if you ask them, they would, they was paying $1 something. The only time we was paying $1 something was during the pandemic because nobody was fucking driving.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about the notion that if Trump got back in office, we could get $2 gas back, inflation would drop, the wars would end. He said he could end Ukraine and Russian war in 24 hours. Is he promising things he can actually deliver?
Well, on the gas thing, I believe that it is possible for him to do that. If he goes and he cuts secret side deals with Saudi Arabia like he did before and get them to increase production while he's in office, yes, I believe he could make gas prices go down. But what he would have to do would go against our national security policies.
Do you think people would really care if you could get them $2 gas? Just like we're talking about now, where Trump is being able to do things and people are overlooking it because they believe he has the best vision for America. I submit to you exactly that. If Trump could knock the price of fuel down, 50% or something crazy like that, and which would bring down the cost of goods and services as well, because a lot of that stuff go by truck and they're passing the cost on. If everything suddenly got cheaper, I think most of America would overlook him doing, like, as you say, deals with enemy countries and all of that. I think they would overlook. In this country, we're focused on money. We're capitalists. As long as you're paying somebody right, they don't give a damn what you're doing.
I get what you're saying as far as gas, but I disagree that the price of goods and services would go down because gas has gone down.
It should.
Once they raise the prices of goods and services, those corporations never cut costs. Yeah. That's not how the economy works. If I'm charging $5 for a bag of cookies and something happens and I get to raise it to $6, I don't care what happens. I'm not going back to $5.
Yeah. But here's where I do give...
Y'all like the cookies, y'all gonna keep buying the cookies.
Yeah, but here's where I do give Trump credit over Biden. Because of how he speaks, how he threatens, even if he can or cannot do it legally or not, I do believe he would threaten the shit out of corporations to the point where either they would lower the price of cookies or it would become so known that the corporation is the reason why the cookies cost so much. Under Biden, he doesn't get his message out enough. We talk about price gouging. Biden is not out there doing it as much. Trump would be naming names, going at the CEOs. He is more thorough on that stuff. As Charlemagne the God once said, Trump lies better than Biden tells the truth. So I got to give Trump the win on that.
Right. Well, I mean, if the win means that you have to let the person at the top use bully psychology to manipulate corporations and going against the ethos of what being a Republican is small government. We don't like the government getting in the business of corporations and messing with our capitalism. If they're willing to give up their whole moral standards for 4 years of low gas prices and maybe slightly lower prices in goods and services, then okay, then they can do that.
Yeah.
But I want a government that looks for the long haul. Who cares about our moral standards, who doesn't give countries a pass for chopping up reporters.
Damn, you're talking about Soleimani.
Chopping up, and turning around and say, look, we won't say nothing if you go ahead and increase production this cycle. Like, that's not what America is supposed to stand for. How are we going to talk to other countries about, civil rights and what they're supposed to be doing?
Well, but come on now, Denkow, we are hypocritical or hypocrites or whatever. We go in other countries and say you're wrong for treating your own people and things like that, or dishonor. We do all of that shit.
Look, I'm a brother just like you, and they done battered into my head that all this time we didn't know what the hell we was talking about when we told them the government was screwed and the FBI and the CIA, all that stuff, and they told us, man, it's just your imagination.
Yeah.
Now that Trump is saying it, they agree with it wholeheartedly. Now they want to defund, get rid of the security apparatus because Trump said so.
But I'm hearing then, Cal, as a brother, as a black man, you should be on the Trump train because he's now getting railroaded by the government. He now has a mugshot. The man is even wearing tennis shoes, for God's sake. He's wearing sneakers now. So you should identify with him.
No, they beat it into my head that I should not like criminals.
Oh.
They beat it into my head that I shouldn't, that somebody, a man with 3 baby mamas and 5 kids and all of these doggone felonies, and he done messed up a dang charity, his school, cheated people out of money. Like, they told me I should not support somebody like that. So now that I'm with them, they telling me something different? Come on, man. I'm confused now.
All right, I didn't count a win. I got to move it on. That was funny, though. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, 3 baby mamas. Wow. All right, look at the comments. Joe Biden passed the 94 crime bill and called black people racist things, says Jesus is the Messiah. Well, I'm not going to defend Joe Biden on that. Vote for me, you ain't black, on the 94 crime bill. I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. But I have said Biden's best, the best thing he has going for him when folks say that he has racial issues is that his opponent is Trump. Because Trump has a lot more racially suspicious statements, actions. I mean, if he was running against Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley or somebody like that, yeah, you could use that stuff a lot more. But he's running against Trump, and there's a lot of things Trump has said that has racial overtones to it. I understand, just like with anything else, if you support Trump, you're just going to dismiss it. But I could do a whole show on it. It's just tons and tons of stuff that some people have never heard of, or they said it was a joke, or he didn't mean. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. So looking in the comments, though, Trump is the least racist person since TH. I love it. Salty, what does that say? Salty Sluthers feeding children. Oh, Sally Struthers feeding the children. I don't know where you're going with that, but Joe Biden also said you better vote for me or you ain't black. Now, I want to, speaking of that clip, that statement rather, vote for me or you ain't black. I don't know if I can bring it up in between calls here real quick. If I can't bring it up real quick, I will proceed on to the next caller, but it is something that I think is worthy of hearing here. I'll take a call. We'll go into it in a minute. But moving on, we'll go to Kristen, friend of the program. Good afternoon, Kristen. If the box brings her up. There you go. Kristen, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you doing, handsome?
I'm doing good. Good to have you back. So we're asking, is everything helping you?
No, I have never, ever been on with you before, ever. And I watch you every day, though. I am an avid watcher. Oh. For sure.
Okay, well, it's good to have a virgin conversation then. So, what do you think? You think everything's helping Trump out?
I don't know if everything is helping him out, but I think he's got a really great chance, though. I really do. I think he's got a really great chance at, making some Democrats go Republican.
Really?
I do.
What makes you think that, I mean, just from the way you said it, what makes you think that a Democrat would go Republican? I mean, you know what the Democratic principles are. What about Trump would be attractive to a Democrat?
The way they are attacking him. Back when Clinton was in office, did you see this kind of attack on Bill Clinton? I don't get it. I don't understand.
But hold on. You mentioned when Bill Clinton was on, you do realize a lot of voters were not even alive or old enough to vote back then. I mean, that's been 35, almost 40 years ago. That's a long time ago.
But still, they didn't attack him like they are attacking Trump, though.
I don't disagree with you in regards to Trump has taken more attacks than virtually anybody, but unlike Trump, you mentioned Bill Clinton, nobody else launched as many attacks either. Trump has attacked a lot more people than Clinton, Bush, Obama, Reagan, or anybody. Trump has attacked a lot of people. Do you believe there should be any consequence to that?
actually guilty of any of this stuff, I think he should definitely pay the price. But I also think, when it comes to Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, why aren't they being investigated?
Well, Hunter Biden's son is about to go to court. He's already been ended up pleading guilty to the gun charge. He is being investigated.
Okay, so that's good. I'm glad, that the justice system is working, and be accountable for your actions. I get it. If Trump is guilty, by all means, charge him. I totally agree with it, but I don't understand why so many people are so obsessed.
Well, but that goes back to what I just told you a moment ago. When you're going around attacking any and everybody, do you believe there should be consequences? Because the obsession may have something to do with that. Do you believe he should just be able to say all kinds of awful things about people?
That who should be able to say awful
Trump,
things
when he's on Twitter tweeting out insults and all of that stuff, do you believe there should be no consequences for that?
I'm not one of those people that is easily offended.
Not talking about you, though. We're not talking about you.
No, I don't give a shit about what he says about people.
But but wait a minute, that is you. Are you saying the whole country should just let him say shit about other people and they all should collectively not give a shit? He should just be able to insult anybody he wants and the whole country should not give a shit about it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you believe that's real? Do you see Trump as somebody you can insult and he don't give a shit about it and would not say anything?
No, he doesn't give a shit. That's why he speaks his truth and he speaks his mind, because he doesn't give a shit. So why would he give a shit about what other people have to say about him?
So you believe that if somebody insults Trump, he won't give a shit. He won't say nothing back at all. He won't try to attack him or anything.
Oh no, no. He will definitely come back at you.
Okay.
But guess what? At the end of the day, he will win.
Okay, but think about what
insult you and be smarter than you on your best day.
Right, but think about what you just said. If you say something about Trump, he will come back at you and he will win. Fact is, you're admitting that if you say something about Trump, he won't just ignore it. He will come back at you. So when you say, why are people all coming after Trump, it's because they're coming back at him too.
Right.
Okay, then that's why he's being attacked.
But at the end of the day, who's paying for it? He's paying for it.
Well, you just admitted.
You know what I mean? But do you understand that though?
I
because he's in the limelight. None of us, who gives a shit about what we have to say?
Does he have to do it?
He's the one that's got to pay for it.
Well, he don't have to attack people. If you don't want to deal with all of this stuff, why not just stop attacking people? Stop tweeting out insults. It's optional. You don't have to do this stuff.
Right, but you know what though? He is who is obsessing over him? Everybody, the whole country is obsessing over him. He is the one that is paying at the end of the day.
But
he's the one that's paying the ultimate price. He's the one fighting for our country and our freedoms. We're freaking paying too.
But I don't think you're understanding what you're saying. If Trump is being attacked by everybody, and as you say, he's paying and the whole country is paying, why don't he just stop attacking everybody and it would go away? I mean, you don't have to do it. None of the tweets are making America great. Why not just stop doing it? Because you make it sound like he wants to be able to insult people, but he don't want people to respond to it. He wants to just be able to insult everybody with no consequence.
You know what? Insulting people should be the least of your worries. Why do you care? Why do you care what he has to say? If he is running this country and we are okay, then why do you give a shit about what he has to say?
Why does he do it?
Because that is who he is.
Okay, and that's who the American people is. You have a right to be who you are. The people responding have a right to be who they are.
Right.
So that's why it's happening.
Live your damn life and not give a shit. And just let him run this damn country the way that it's supposed to be ran. Why do you care about mean tweets and, you know, what he has to say? Who gives a shit? Why do you care?
Let me ask it to you this way. As a politician, which the president is, does he work for the people or do the people work for him?
He works for the people.
So if the people tells him to stop tweeting, does he say fuck your feelings and keep doing it anyway?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Fuck your feelings.
And that is exactly why he is now a citizen.
We don't care about how you feel. We care about how he runs this country. If it's being ran right, he can stop wars. He doesn't create new wars. And he just runs this country for his people. That's all we should care about.
Well, but it's not my place to tell you or your place to tell me what I should care about. Every voter cares about something different. And when you say fuck your feelings and things like this, and I don't care how you feel, you say,
fuck your feelings.
Yeah, when you say but you don't want to say fuck my vote. You don't care how I feel, but it seems like on election day in 2020, you sure cared how I voted. So if you're going to ignore the people, they're going to ignore you.
Right. You know what, handsome? I just want this country to be ran right. I don't think that we should be in the state that we are right now. We are in 2 going on 3 wars. I guess we've got, some shit going on with China now. I mean, who knows what's going to become of that? I don't know. I just want us to be safe. We need to be able to walk out our front door every day and feel safe.
Okay, let me ask you. So
I don't feel safe.
Okay,
in the world that we are living in right now.
I understand it. So I understand it. So let me ask you this question. You do believe Trump had a much better vision for this country, right?
Absolutely.
Do you believe it was necessary to insult and sit and tweet out insults to make that vision legitimate? Do you think that was a necessary thing to do to make this country great?
You know what? No, I don't.
All right.
I don't.
So,
but you know what? Can you put yourself in his shoes with everybody attacking him? Can you, if you could put yourself in his shoes for just a minute and feel what he feels?
But think about what you just said. You said you shouldn't give a shit when people say anything about you. But now you said because hang on. You just said people shouldn't give a shit what he's saying about them. But now when it's happening to him, you totally understand him having thin skin and attacking everybody. It's like you're giving him special privilege.
Well, no, not really.
You just said that.
You know what? I understand what you're saying, and I respect that. But you know what? When you have the whole world, attacking you, I mean, what is he supposed to do?
But
he's being attacked by, so many people.
I just gave you.
I mean, seriously, handsome, you are on a live every single fucking day.
And I get attacked all the time, and I don't attack nobody back.
But all you do is talk about him.
Yeah.
That's all you do every day, every day. You know what? He is like the man on the planet right now. Everybody is talking about him. He is he's the world stage. So, you know what? If you had all of that weight on your shoulders, how would you feel about that?
How do you think you can run for president without that happening? Certainly, if you're going to be, if you're controlling 330 million people, you're insulting a bunch of them and telling some of them, fuck your feelings. What do you think is going to be smooth?
But what is the world saying to him? Fuck your feelings. Fuck you.
But that's what I'm. But that's what I'm saying, Christian. Christian, that's what I'm saying is when Trump is launching the attacks, the citizens should be thick-skinned and they should just understand he's running the country and let him say whatever. But when people attack him, suddenly you don't want him to be thick-skinned. You give him the right to defend himself.
They said fuck you and fuck your feelings before he even made that statement. Okay. Period.
Okay. I just simply said.
No, everybody has been against him when he was running.
Yeah. Because when he was running, he had just said Obama was.
Before he even ran.
Yeah, before he ran, he had said Obama was born in Kenya. He was attacking the guy before him.
Oh my God. See, this is what you guys always freaking deflect. You do this every fucking time you guys do this. I don't understand.
What did I do?
But you know what? We're going to go back and forth. This is how it goes. You know, Trump has been hated since he freaking, since probably the 70s. You know, it's always going to go back to that. It's going to go back to blah, blah, blah.
On YouTube, Christian, someone says to let you know that Trump took away your right to choose. Does that mean anything to you?
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, handsome. Okay, you know what? And everybody is going to say that I am voting against my own interest. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have a gay daughter. I've known she was a lesbian since she was 4. Also, 2, let's see. Yeah, I'm pro-choice. I am so pro-choice. It's not even funny. But a lot of people here in your live, I've seen them, mention me in the comments and stuff, and I don't give a shit about what they have to say.
You got thick skin. You got thick skin. I like that. Keep going.
I am. I'm a Taurus bull, and I am German. I'm as German as they come.
All right.
And I'll tell you right now that, yes, I am pro-choice, and I am a Republican, and I have a lesbian daughter.
Oh.
And straight up, but I'm a Republican till the day I die. And you know what? I make my own mind. I don't let the media tell me what the fuck to do. I'm gonna choose for myself, and I stand with Trump. Period.
All right. Well said, Christian. I do gotta move it on anytime. Look, come on back to anytime.
Thank you so much for having me and bringing me up. You are amazing, my friend.
Thank you. We don't have to agree. You're always welcome back, though.
I hope I can come up in your live again, my friend. Thank you so much.
Anytime. You can come all up in it. Appreciate it. All right, look it in the comments, though. Trump 2024. What does that other say? Some be done. So I don't understand that 2026, but I see that Trump 2024. Look, and by the way, I wanted to address a couple super chats on YouTube. Gen X, what's your take on stripping Trump's Secret Service? Wow. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's go, Brandon. Biden sniffs kids, sends Don Capone down. Naeem Barber, special privileges. Some may say even white, or some may even say white. Ooh, white privilege. All right, Gen X, what's my take on stripping Trump's Secret Service? I'm not a fan of it. Now, look, as president, you're supposed to have Secret Service protection until the day you die as a former president. Right now, I believe Trump should have that, even with 34 felonies. However, I've talked about this before in the program. I do believe some anti-Trump laws are coming down the pipe. After Trump is either out of politics, God forbid deceased or whatever, once he's no longer in the running, I do believe that after, let's say he serves 4 years and he's gone, or whatever the case may be, but once we go down the road a bit, there's going to be some anti-Trump laws, because I think Trump has pushed the envelope in ways the founding fathers never expected. I talked about I don't think the founding fathers would have ever agreed somebody could serve as a felon, could serve with multiple charges on them, federal charges, some that are espionage related, serve while incarcerated, pardon themselves for the charges. Whether you think Trump is innocent or not, we can debate that, but I don't think the founding fathers ever expected that a president could potentially do all this stuff. And in regards to removing the Secret Service protection, I've stated I don't believe Trump should lose that because he was promised that when he took office. But I will say this: whether you're in the military, you're a police officer, you work on the fire department or whatever, if you commit a crime while on duty and you are found guilty and convicted of it, you lose your pension, you lose all of those privileges you normally would get as a civil servant after you leave office. So I do believe, although I'm saying don't do it for Trump because he was promised it, that's another anti-Trump law I think will come down the pipe after Trump is gone, so that no future president in the future can consider pardoning himself. Or because look, if you're found guilty of espionage, and Trump has not been found guilty of espionage, and I'm saying that if you are, should the taxpayers have to give you Secret Service protection for the rest of your life? Most Americans would say no. And I'll tell you this, most of the things that I just said, if we could go back 10 years ago when Hillary Clinton was running for office and Trump was talking about how crooked she is, I think MAGA would agree with every damn thing I just said. You can't pardon yourself. You can't serve while you're in jail. You can't serve as a felon. Even Trump was just saying, as a person that's been charged with crimes, you should not be able to serve as president. So even 10 years ago, Trump himself believed the shit I'm just saying. So he's kind of demanding a little bit of special attention on that. For you that did not hear it, I'll give you a quick clip before we continue on. They're yelling, "Lock her up." And then he embraces the flag, so he's clearly showing adoration for them yelling, "Lock her up." But I want you to hear what he has to say when he comes to the podium.
Folks, she shouldn't be allowed to run.
Talking about Hillary Clinton.
So, if she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial. It would grind government to a halt. Of course, that's what we have right now under Obama.
Now, so he's clearly saying what I just talked about. Several years ago, he didn't believe a felon, or in this case, somebody who was charged with felonies, because Hillary Clinton was not convicted of anything when he was saying this. Even he was suggesting what I just stated, that if you're charged with a bunch of crimes, you should not be able to run for president. So I do believe, 10 years from now, I think you'll get bipartisan support from both sides of the aisle, that some of the things that Trump is contemplating being able to do, like run for office with felonies, run for office while incarcerated, or pardon himself, I think everybody will agree in the future, you can't let a future president do this stuff. Because as you see, he didn't want a future president to be able to do that stuff until it became him being the one that's attempting to do it. Even and I see in the comments somebody said immunity, even the immunity stuff. He's the same guy that said if you plead the fifth, it means you work for the mob. So it's amazing that how all of a sudden, once this stuff applied to him, his tune changed completely. That's a witch hunt. I don't believe. Okay, fair enough. But listening to what he says, he clearly makes it clear that I don't want what I'm about to ask for to be given to anybody else. We'll talk about it on the next level. I do got to step away for a minute. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I'll catch you guys.